Okay. I was thinking of this video for a while, but like I'm gonna do it finally. What your main says about you, Apex Legends. I'm just gonna start here and work my way down. Let's start with okay, Bangalore. This is a very easy one. If you're a Bangalore, you are a mouse and keyboard player, number one. You rarely see controller Bangalores because obviously you don't get aim assist, so they just like never. That or they smoke them and just stand not in the smoke. But if you're a Bangalore player, you will throw yourself at everybody thinking you're going to kill them all. 90% of the time they don't, but I think Bangalore is one of those characters with such a high skill ceiling that if you start maining Bangalore when you first start playing this game, because you start with her, you start the game with her, you can go the entire time you play this game, like 3 years, and get insane at her. She's like mostly used by pros, champs, like uh his Watson used him for a while. Uh I've seen How use her. Like I've seen a lot of characters, a lot of pros use her. She's a very good character. Uh very high skill ceiling, has another thing, tons of skins. Like are all of them good? No. A lot of them are really bad. Let me see if I can land on one of them. This one's so mediocre. Anyway, we're not talking about the skins. If you're a Bangalore, you probably haven't left the house in like 7 years. Because Apex has been out for 7 years. You've probably been playing the game since it started, and you haven't touched grass or seen grass since you walked out the house to get the mail 20 years ago. She is probably one of the best Apex. Right now in the meta, I'm not going to talk about the character in the meta right now. I'm just talking about what the main says about you. But in the meta, she's like pretty balanced right now. Next, Revenant. Revenant. Revenant is a controversial one because I love Revenant, but I don't use Revenant. I love the character, just don't use him. If you're Revenant, you either play the character because you think he's sick and you think his abilities are insane, or you play him because you use your partners as body shields because your hitbox is the size of Texas and you just like mow people down. Uh, those are the two types of Rev players. Rev players, I feel like Rev players are very high diamond or master players. You rarely see like plat or like gold Rev players, and if you do, it's because they thought the character looked cool and unlocked them, and are like really mid with them. Uh, Rev players just solid characters. His hitbox like holds him back from being a really good character. You you Rev players think that you can go and do whatever you want, but your hitbox just holds you back. If you're a Rev player, like you have so much potential, but you instead play Rev, which has just the hitbox holds you back. His passive is okay. His tactical's good. Uh, his ultimate is just making up for his lack of uh small hitbox. Like his ultimate is so bad. Like a lot of people say this, why do you hate Rev ultimates but love conduit attacks? Because conduit attacks, you can use them, it's a tactical A, and B, you can use them and you can make plays with them and you can help your teammates. A Rev ultimate, you only give it to yourself, so it's not helping the team. It's just making up for the huge hitbox, and it makes your hitbox bigger, while conduits doesn't. It just makes you more visible, which is kind of annoying. Next, Fuse. Fuse players, this is the most average concept, but like I'm just gonna say the stereotype and my opinion of average Fuse players. You're either 40, you have at least 2 kids, and you have an office job, and you play Apex on the couch with the boys to have fun, and then you get steamrolled. Because last time I checked, your ultimate is so bad, they nerfed it by making it where it explodes into like multiple pellets. Your tactical is just a worse Maggie drill. And your passive, actually, his passive right now is insane with the bounces with grenades, and holding extra grenades is so good. I have nothing to say about his passive. His passive is goated. Rest of his kit, trash. Rework him. You were. That's the one version. My opinion is Fuse players are like the average Fuse player is a person that's hard stuck gold, maybe plat 4, who thinks Fuse is goated because of his personality and not because of his actual abilities, and is probably the one person you're guaranteed to see throw the most random ultimates. Him and Horizon. The amount of random Fuse ultimates I see that actually somehow get kills or do nothing is wild. Um, I have literally nothing else to say about Fuse. Your main Fuse, he's so mediocre. Mad Maggie. Okay, Mad Maggie is my second favorite character, so it's hard for me to like say bad about Mad Maggie. But the average Mad Maggie player is usually good. You're like the most average player who has pretty good skill and has the potential to be really good, but you play Mad Maggie. Pretty good character. Her ultimate is so random. Mad Maggie mains are like probably like eh. They're fine. They're pretty cool people. They like Mad Maggie because she's Australian. I don't get that. Uh, I don't know. Uh, but Mad Maggie, if you're a Mad Maggie player, you're just good. And that's not biased. I think you're good, but you're being held back by your main. That's why I like Mad Maggie, but I don't main her. Just such a solid character. Like such a good, and she has tons of cool skins, but not a lot of them. I feel like actually quite a few of them compared to other legends. Ballistic, my guy. Holy cow. Ballistic, another Fuse type thing. You're really old, but you have no kids. Just like Ballistic, you have no kids, but you're really old. Ballistic, such a solid character. His tactical can literally shut people's uh, guns down, which is so evil, and I think they should remove it from the game right now. But his passive is okay, because without his ultimate, his passive is pretty much useless. Like, only, like, really, really good ballistics actually get use out his passive. Like, insane ballistic, like, ballistic mains are some of the craziest players ever. But the problem is you see too many plat and under ballistics that you get used to them being trash and you being able to, like, step behind cover and just block their ballistic attack and then beam them for free. But ballistic mains are so, like, solid. I feel like I feel bad for them because their main has been nerfed so much. But I feel like ballistic mains are just solid. I think like ballistic mains should start playing different legends because his like ballistic is in such a bad place. He was in a really overpowered space, but they nerfed him so hard, and I think they need to give him a slight buff. But ballistic mains, they're usually fine. I think they're also just a little bit like evil. I know every single time they hit or overheat someone's weapon, it gives them so much joy. Somewhere in their like mind or heart, they just get that little like Grinch grin where they're just like, I did 5 damage. He shall pay for overheating his weapon. And then you just go and miss all your shots or like one clip them. Because there's no in between. You're either an insane ballistic player or you're absolute horrible. There's no in between. Pathfinder. Probably one of the best legends when it comes to personality. Anything past that, he's mid. His tactical's okay. His passive's pretty non-existent, and his ultimate is fun. good on paper, kind of mediocre in concept. Uh, I feel like he's held back. His abilities are just so outdated. But he is. But Pathfinder mains are some of the chillest people ever. When I play with a Pathfinder main, they are just so chill. They're so funny. They're like going. They're awesome. If you're a Pathfinder main, I love you. You're so nice. I love you guys. But please swap to a different movement legend like Ash or anybody. Even Ash is mid right now, but I'll get to her. Okay, Wraith. Wraith, you think you're the greatest player of all time. You think you're insane because you run the. Where is it? Where is it? Where's that evil. Where's that evil atrocity? You think you're good because you run. Why is it just disappearing? The bald Wraith skin? You think you're good because you run the bald Wraith skin? No, you are trash. The amount of really, really, really bad Wraiths I come into that I just run at them when they're tacked and then they just get one clipped by me is insane. Uh, Wraith players are so mediocre. I feel like it's possibly because their passive is non-existent. Their tactical is pretty outdated. They got that really nice buff where you could exit it mid tack, which is super nice. And our ultimate is kind of just annoying because it's too slow, and it's not a great rotate option for a. I think the best way to bring Wraith back is to make her an assault legend and make her more of an assault based character and less of a skirmisher. Just change her ultimate, fix her passive, or add a passive. Anyway, I'm not trying to fix the character. I'm trying to talk about their mains. Wraith players, they are the sweatiest people of all time. They think they are so good, but they're not. Don't get me wrong. That is every Master's Wraith. Predator Wraiths, they are the chillest people most of the time. They will carry you and not even say anything about it. And they will 1v3 every other game, twice a game. And when they're not 1v3ing, it's because you guys ran in and died, and she tried crafting you guys, and then she got sniped by it because her. And the only reason she got sniped is because her passive didn't work. Obviously, if her passive worked, she would have been fine. But like Wraiths, I feel like she's been a staple ever since the beginning of the game, and like the Wraith stereotype has changed so much. Does she leave every time she gets knocked? Yes, but that's everybody in this game nowadays, so I can't really blame it on Wraiths. Wraiths, solid main. Like, if you're a Wraith main, I like you. I think you're good, but I think you shouldn't run Wraith anymore. I think you should put Wraith on a shelf and leave her alone and switch to someone new. Next. Okay, we're in the skirmishers right now. Octane. Octane is overpowered right now. But what does an Octane main? An Octane main, there's two types. There's the low level ones and the high level ones. The high level ones, you guys are cracked out of your mind. You guys run those 360s off the jump pad, Kraber, headshot, no scopes pretty much every game. You guys are insane at using the stim, and you guys are OP. You guys are awesome. You guys are fun. I like you guys. Some like love how Octane like speaks Spanish in his dialogue. Just me. I love that. Uh, then you have the bad Octanes. These are Octanes you're gonna see pretty much every game from plat and under. You guys are like at least 11 and under. You guys have zero attention span because you've watched TikTok for the past 10 years of your life. And you guys are so selfish. You have pretty much every skin for Octane because your parents literally give you their credit card and you buy every Octane skin. But you're mid, you overstim pretty much the entire game. You use the jump pad constantly when you don't need to. And you don't know how to use the new abilities because they take a little much skill, because they added a little skill to Octane with the new abilities. And every bad 9-year-old Octane player is just going, no, 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 I don't know how to use his abilities finally. What am I supposed to do? And then they get rolled by a controller or something. Those are the two types of Octane mains. If you got a problem with it, fight me in the comments. Horizon. I despise you. I think you're one of the worst people, because Horizon mains, they will yell at you in chat, but only like 35% of the time you should actually be like yelled at. 35% of the time you're getting yelled at because you deserve it. The other 65% of the time, the Horizon is yelling at you for absolutely no reason in game chat. It is annoying. Horizons, 1v1ing a Horizon is impossible, because when they're jumping and bunny hopping, crapping around you, their legs jump up, their like arms wave around, you can't hit anything, and then they like PK or R9 you to death. You have a terrible ultimate, and you think you're the greatest player of all time, and you get one clipped off Horizon tax way too much, and you just are like probably like 17 years old. Not even gonna lie. Uh, that's like an average Horizon main. That, or you're just OP like some of the Horizons out there. Ashe. To all the Ashe mains out there, you didn't get the memo. She was just nerfed. Her passive, pretty much the dash does nothing nowadays. You can get off Ashe and go back to your original main. Stop playing Ashe. Her abilities are kind of like nerfed. She's like C tier, B tier right now, maximum. Her ultimate is good, but she was like, it's been nerfed too many times after the buffs. Her passive is okay, but it was nerfed too many times after the buffs. Her tactical is actually pretty good. I love her tactical. Her tactical pretty much got no nerfs, and I think it's still really good. But the average Ashe main hits nothing. Ashe mains, I think you're predators, but I think all the Predator Ashe mains aren't maining Ashe anymore because she was nerfed. Because the problem with saying you're a Predator Ashe main is because all Predators only play what's meta. I'm gonna say you're a Masters Ashe main, because Masters actually main people for long periods of time, like committing to that character, while Predator players, they just only play what's meta. So you can't really say, yeah, that's a Predator Wraith player, like a Predator Wraith main. No, because right when Wraith, let's just say, is nerfed, they're gonna switch to whatever else is meta, like, I don't know, Caustic or whatever. So you can't really say that. But like Ashe mains, you guys are usually fine. You guys are very quiet. I feel like Ashe mains, like, you're super solo queue. You're like that one kid at school that just like nobody really talked to. Like Ashe mains, like, you're fine. I don't mind you, but like, meh, you guys are fine. I like you guys. You guys are just too quiet and don't give enough comms. Alter. Alter mains are creepy and scary. Not just because the character is, you guys are too. I feel like most alters are either creepy, weird guys, like just weird, or e-girls. Nothing against e-girls, I don't care. But the creepy guys that are alter are weird. That's what the average alter main is. You get screamed at for not taking the portal, even though the altar can take you back to the portal 9% of the time. Most altar mains just never throw down our portal. This is like most altar mains, pretty much diamond and under. You have to remind them. Anything past that, altar mains are just insane. You guys try hard. She's like been meta for the past like 3 seasons. 3 seasons, I think. You guys are pretty good. I don't mind altar mains. You just gotta stop being freaky. I think Bloodhound. 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 Bloodhound players are OGs. Don't get me wrong. A Bloodhound player is OG, period. Average Bloodhound player is like hit Masters sometime in their Apex career. They love Bloodhound because his tactical is free wall hacks, baby. We all love him. His ultimate just makes him like fast, see everything, and go insane. And his passive is super good to find someone that just ran away. I feel like it's not really great right now just because people are using like Octane jump pads, Ash ults, all that stuff, so you can't really see their footsteps. But other than that, it's such good. Bloodhound mains, you guys usually don't use your mics, but you guys are able, when you guys do use your mics, you guys make some of the greatest plays ever. Some of the greatest plays. Bloodhound mains are so cool. I love Bloodhound mains. Bloodhound mains, such a solid person. You guys have like just awesome. Crypto. Oh, the stuff I have to say about crypto mains. You guys think you have one of the best abilities in the game, even though you don't. I'm gonna come out and say it. Using ability to take yourself out the game is never gonna work. It's never gonna be good. Rework crypto. But the mains, crypto mains are usually fine. They're a bit quiet. They don't really use their mics all that often unless you come out and like yell at them. Cryptos, you guys are like pretty good. I don't really ever see a crypto that like has a like crypto kills under 1,000. I never see a crypto that has less than 1,000 kills on him unless he just never plays crypto and it's just like I accidentally picked crypto. Like crypto mains, you guys are super like you're the definition of a plat to diamond player. You never really your character is what's holding you back from masters, but if you played any other character, you wouldn't know how to play them just because you are too used to being out of the game with your crypto ult, your crypto ability. You never really see low level like silver, bronze, gold cryptos. I feel like you never see them, and if you do, it's because they're like off in their drone AFK. But like I feel like I never see any cryptos in like silver or gold. Like cryptos, solid people need to use their mics more, but they're just like they're fine. Like when a crypto uses their mic, they're usually fine. They usually have pretty good mics. Like I haven't really said anything, but a lot like Octanes, they have the worst mics ever. It is so crackly, you can't hear a thing. Cryptos, usually they have pretty good mics, but that's because they haven't really used them at all. So like when they do use them, it sounds fresh. Valkyrie. Valkyrie simps for low. I mean, okay. I'm kidding. We don't talk about that. Anyway, Valkyrie players are so questionable. That's all I have to say about Valkyrie players. They, you don't really know what a Valkyrie is because a Valkyrie has been so many things. Like I feel like when Valkyrie first came out, people thought of her as a skirmisher, and then her like jetpacks got nerfed, her ultimate got nerfed, and then people thought of her more as like a assault character because like she was very selfish because you never used her ultimate because everybody just used evac towers. But then she went back to a skirmisher when they buffed her ult, and then she went to a recon legend. We don't really know what a Valkyrie is. They're like nothing and everything. But like Valkyrie is just a glorified evac tower. Like, but Valkyrie mains usually are e-girls or they're just fine people. They're like pretty good. They're good at the game. They're like usually like about plat. Sometimes like plat. I also never see a Valkyrie above level 300 and under level 300. They're in that level 300 to 399 range. I never see them past that. It is weird. You'll never see a meta like Predator or like uh Masters Valkyrie because those mains don't exist because they've given up on Valkyrie a long time ago. Valkyrie just solid person, cool person, like uh but your character's mid. This is more how good is your character and less main what is your main? Like what is a main like what is the average person that mains this character? It's more what is the average character that a person mains, if that makes any sense. That doesn't really, but like if you get what I mean, like good. Seer. You like to see feet. Vantage. Vantage players. Usually about 12 years old. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair age. You guys can't stop trying to use your sniper and miss every shot. Every shot. You think you have one of the greatest passes in the game, but last time I checked, you don't even know what your passive is. You have probably one of the worst tacticals for movement ever because you can just be beamed out the air 99% of the time when you could, just use an Octane jump pad as Octane, but you decide not to and use Vantage with the worst tactical in the game, in my opinion. Her ultimate is just a glorified Sentinel, uh, or even Longbow. Like, but the average Vantage main is super quiet. And Vantage mains, when they do use their mics, they are so annoying because their voice sounds identical to Vantage. You can't tell a Vantage like voice line from their voice at all ever. And when they die, they blame it on the rest of their team 90% of the time because your teammates are dead as a Vantage main. Do you know why? Because you did nothing because your abilities are trash. Find a new main. You have potential with snipers. Pretty much any character with a decent movement ability will be good with snipers because they can get to high ground very easily, especially Horizon. If you like snipers, don't use Vantage, use Horizon. And even with your reduction to your hitbox is huge. It's still massive. Here we go. Here we go. Sparrow. He's new. He's the newest character Apex so far, which is kind of weird because he's like 3, 4 seasons old, I think. Like 2 seasons old, I think. Sparrow players are usually fine. They're a little bit quiet. They usually use their mics, but they're a little bit quiet. They're pretty cool people. They're fine. They simp on Sparrow way too much. Even the guys simp on Sparrow way too much. Most of the e-girls play him. But when you see a guy play Sparrow, they are simping on him so much, and it is creepy. You pretty much have 0 legendary skins. You have 4 to choose from. Uh, you guys are like good at the game, but I am. I have this theory that if you are a Sparrow main, you always have this really good play in your head, and then you never say anything about the play, and then your team dies. Sparrow mains are such mid people. They're like not people. They're mid. They have a mid main because their main is like their main their tactical is just worse than a Bloodhound tac. You don't need to scan someone from 3,000 meters away. It's useless. At that point, you're so far away, it's useless information. Your passive is the only redeeming quality of your kit. Your ultimate ruins your teammates' mobility. It does. It is so easy to dodge. Like, Sparrow mains are so, like, okay. Definition of, like, B tier. But Sparrow mains are usually pretty chill, but they're like way too simpy for guys. Like they're so weird. Gibby, Gibby, you guys have so much potential because you're so good at bubble fights. You guys know how to peek. You guys know when to res. You guys have such a decent tactical. You guys have a good ultimate. You guys have pretty much no passive because it just makes up for your huge hitbox. But the problem with Gibby is Gibby, his tactical, when you place down a tactical Gibby, 90% of the time, your enemy could kill you because of your tactical. Sometimes you run into a enemy Gibby, you bubble fight better than them and kill them. It reminds me of that one character from Valorant where you take someone out of the game and 1v1 them in like a different realm or whatever. Same thing with Gibby. You place down your Gibby bubble, you 1v1 someone in a different realm, and 90% of the time you lose because the enemy played your own bubble better than you. It is so stupid. Another character will have this same problem soon. I will tell you soon. You'll probably know what character I'm talking about. You would be so good if you switched to Newcastle, but you're stubborn and you think you're better on Gibby. Gibbies are usually pretty decent players. You're usually comp. When you see a Gibby main, they're comp players. They're competitive players. They play like tournaments because Gibby is better in tournaments than in ranked and pubs combined. Because in that, you guys are playing so tight together and you're gonna get so much value from his ultimate that he's just so much better. Gibby's just like out of meta. I think they just need to buff his hitbox. It's so big. Like I could 360 randomly shoot a Kraber bullet and it will hit a Gibby 1 out of 4 times. That's how big his hitbox is. It is crazy how big that hitbox is. Gibbies are wild. But I think Gibby mains are actually good. His ultimate is way too easy to dodge too. Gibby mains are usually very chill. They're fine, but they just need a new main. Like Newcastle is way better. He has a small hitbox, but it's still huge. You could still like fight with the stupid wall that Newcastle throws down, but at least you can move it mid like fight when you like are using a shotgun and like going in and out. It's easier to fight because like you can move it whenever and like hit people with disgusting massive or PK shots. But like I don't know why Gibbies don't switch to Newcastle. Lifelines. Okay, right after. Same problem with the ult. You're usually an OG player if you play Lifeline, or you're a new player because like you're either an old player that used to play original Lifeline. If anybody put put OG Lifeline in the comments if you remember her having the shield when you revived. You're an actual OG if you remember that. The only reason I don't have like any stuff like from OG Apex is because this is a newer account and like I don't really like I don't use my old account that has all my old stuff on it. If you're a I'm not gonna talk about old Lifeline mains because it's kind of pointless. Right now, if you're a Lifeline, you're usually pretty good. I love Lifeline for ranked. I love her for ranked. I think she's like my second favorite Lifeline, my second favorite ranked character. She's so good in ranked. In pubs, she's kind of pointless because everybody just pushes so much that you're never really gonna get a revive off. Especially if you play duos because you're only getting to revive one partner. It's better to use like a Mirage. Your passive is super fun and really good, but I feel like it's kind of annoying because 90% of Lifeline mains, I don't get why they do this. They press the passive button to revive you, and then they run away, and then you get thirsted. I don't get it. Just don't try to revive me if you're gonna run and not protect me. I don't get why. That's literally the point of your ultimate. And the ultimate is literally just an excuse for caustics and fuses to like play basketball, like 2K basketball. I forget the name of it. I forget the name of it. I don't really play a lot of basketball games. And just shoot sick 3-pointers with their grenades and caustic traps to kill your entire team. Why'd they make it where your lifeline ultimate has no roof? I guess it's just so it doesn't look like a Gibby tactical, but it just makes your ultimate so bad because people just can just counter it. But I'll give credit when credit's due. It is so good to double speed heal. It is so good. It is so satisfying, and it's such good for resetting. If you're a lifeline main, you're usually masters to diamond. I never really, or you're a lifeline that sits in the open. doesn't know how to walk around or even sprint has your like sensitivity at like a 2-1, and you have to shoot your guns to see if you want the gun because you don't know what every gun does. So those are the two types of lifelines. The great lifelines, Masters to Diamond, or terrible lifelines that have never peaked at silver. Like they haven't even gotten out of bronze. They're not even in bronze. They're in rookie. They're in wood. They have made a new class for themselves. Mirage. I have a soft spot for Mirage. He's funny. He's got good abilities. I think original Day Mirage, the mains haven't changed, but the character has. Mirage mains have evolved. They're like freaking like dinosaurs. They've gone from like freaking pterodactyls to freaking like birds. They have evolved and changed over the years. They are so much different. Original Mirage mains weren't supports. They were assaults. Nowadays, Mirage mains, they are supports, assaults combined. They are so good. Average Mirage main, chillest person ever, but can 1v3 because of their passive making it so nobody can see them, and their ultimate bamboozling 90% of players. The only players that don't get bamboozled are Preds, and if you're a Pred and you get bamboozled, I've seen his Watson get bamboozled, you're just trash. Not that his Watson's trash, he's just washed. Shout out to his Watson. His Watson's the GOAT. Love his Watson. Uh, Mirage mains, so good. I feel like Mirage mains are diamonds or plats. You never see, and those Predator Master Mirage mains, you guys are goated. You guys are insane. You guys can make the craziest 1v3 plays, 1v7 plays, just because you have 7 Phoenix kits, because they made it where when you pop a Phoenix kit as Mirage, his passive lasts the entire Phoenix kit. I don't know why they did that, but they did, and I love it. You can pump out your Mirage your Mirage ultimate, like 3 times in a single fight, which is wild. You use ult excels even though your Mirage ultimate comes back every 60 seconds. I don't get why, but you do. Your tactive is pretty much useless. You never see a Mirage player use his tactical. And when you do, it's like in the craziest way ever, or it's in like the most no brain way ever. And you're only using Mirage for his passive and his ultimate. You're never using him for his tactical. His purple upgrades are kind of useless because it just makes his tactical from mid to a little bit better, but still mid. But Mirage mains are so cool. They're funny. They're pretty chill. But if you do something extremely wrong, they will still insult you. They have pretty good mics, so that's another thing. You never hear a Mirage that just doesn't have a good mic. They usually have good to okay mics. You never hear a bad mic. Uh, and if they have a bad mic, it's because you have a bad headset. Don't ask. It's because of that. Loba, you're a simp or you're an e-girl. Period. You are not using Loba for her abilities. Her tactical worst, probably the worst movement ability in the game. I will take a Vantage tactical over a Loba tactical just because it can't really go vertical. That's the problem with the Loba tactical. But you get 2 of them, so it's better than Vantage's tactical. If you only got 1 Loba tactical, then Vantage's would be better, but you get 2, so it's better than Vantage, obviously. I've had a lot of in-depth thought when I stare awake at the ceiling every night about this video. Anyway, her passive is pretty terrible. You don't even use... I've seen Masters Predators Loba mains never use their passives, and I've seen Bronze Loba mains that never use their passives. It doesn't matter what rank you are. The only time you're going to use your passive is when you land at a hot loot spot and you use it to get the legendary gun instantly off drop. That's the only time you're going to use your Loba passive. And they nerfed it. They made it where you can't get purple armor by picking it up off the ground. Now you have to actually work for it through like evil harvesters and stuff. All the way like a while back, actually. That was like a year or two ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. So now you can't even see armors through walls, and that was such a nerf to her. Uh, but your ultimate is actually one of the best support things in the game, but you still find a way to make it selfish. Loba mains are so selfish. They're selfish, they're simps, or they're e-girls. It's so weird. Loba mains are so confusing. But if you want to have a person on your team that only runs to craft banners, pick a Loba as that person. Because they will get away and craft your banners and respawn you 7 out of the 10 times. 8 out of the 10 times. It is so crazy how many times they can get out of those times. But how many times they can get out of those bad situations. They are so crazy at doing that. The amount of times I just see a Loba throw her bracelet, it's like milliseconds before a person finishes and killing them, and they get out, and I'm just like, how'd you do that? And they're like, because I'm goated. It is crazy how they do that. As a 5-year Apex player, this is my 5th year anniversary for playing Apex, I am baffled that Loba mains haven't changed. They just haven't. They just haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is their ultimate and their tactical. The only thing that's changed about her tactical is the height and distance, and the fact that you have 2 of them. Her ultimate, the only thing that's changed is some things you get like infinite of, like cells and syringes, which is probably one of the best things they've ever added to Loba, and the fact that you get unlimited ammo. Most nowadays players that just started the game, or even some predators, don't know that back then you would pick up ammo from a Loba ult and it would not it would count as one of your items. It was so stupid. The fact that they fixed that was so crazy. Uh yeah, that's like insane how they added that. I love that. Um yeah, Loba mains pretty insane. I love Loba mains. They're pretty fine. They're pretty good. But their abilities are just kind of like mediocre, and they're kind of simps. Or they're e-girls. Next character, Newcastle. You've had such up and downs. During the support meta, I would have said Newcastles are some of the greatest characters of all time, and I would praise them. And then, pretty much every other time I've seen a Newcastle, they've been pretty bad in their lifetime. Newcastle on release, C tier. Newcastle leading up to the support meta, C to B tier. Newcastle in the support meta, S plus 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 tier. Newcastle after the support meta, C to B tier. And he's still C to B tier. I feel like Lifeline's just better. Some people think Newcastle's better, but I think Newcastle's worse. I think Lifeline's way better than Newcastle. Uh, Newcastle mains. If you're a Newcastle main, you're usually pretty chill. You're pretty funny. You make some insane plays with your walls. Oh, you give a Newcastle a PK, he will shred because he could use his ult to kill you with a PK. He can use his tactical to kill you with a PK. He can use his passive to kill you with a PK. No matter what, he's gonna kill you with a PK. You see a Newcastle player and you kill him, 90% of the time you open that death box, there's gonna be either a PK or a Mastiff. 90% of the time. 95% of the time. You never see a Newcastle without a PK or a Mastiff. Next character. Conduit. Okay. The problem is I love Conduit. You can see by my banner frame, I love Conduit. The problem is, the Conduit mains I see and the Conduit mains I know they could be are two completely different things. Average Conduit. Like, the normal Conduit player. Tax me when I'm full shield and we're 100 meters away from an enemy team. Best Conduit players in the game. Don't tack me, But when I get knocked, they will 1v3 guaranteed because they have 2 tacticals or 1 tactical that's just beefier, and they can use it so well that they can 1v3 every time. No in between. You never see a conduit that's supportive but also can get kills. You either see a selfish conduit or a support conduit. The support conduit can be a predator, but they're probably not going to be as good at fighting. Because the difference between a team conduit and an assault conduit, like a tons of kills conduit, is the tons of kills conduit uses conduit as an assault legend and uses her tactical as an assault ability, while a like like a I don't know support conduit will use their tac to help you in a fight. But the problem is sometimes they do it too late and then you get knocked and they kind of wasted their tac because they're full HP. The reason you see a lot of conduits tack you when you're full HP in a fight, full shields in a fight, is because they're using it on themselves so they can push another person instead of having to drop behind cover and pop a bat. If you ever play with me and you see me pop my tactical on you in a fight and you are full shields, it's because I needed it so I could either win a 1v1 or win a 1v2. But I still try to help my team. I usually revive. I usually give my partners tags. I try to. I try. But I'm just too selfish. I don't know what else to say. Conduit mains, pretty overall decent players. And that's not biased. Good character. His Watson has put Conduit in A tier, I think, every season for the past 3 seasons. But this season, he finally gave her S tier and said she's the best support character right now. And I completely agree. I literally heard him say that inside his season 28 tier list of legends, and I was like, finally, he's listened to my prayers. God, thank you. His Watson finally put him in S tier, and then I rubbed it in my friend's face and called Mirage trash, even though Mirage is so fun. He's so fun. Conduit, such a good legend. Very, very high skill gap. And if you're a support conduit that supports your team, you're usually on the mouse and keyboard. But if you're an assault conduit that just frags out every game, you're probably on controller. Caustic. Now we're into the control legends. Last, I think, 4 or 5 legends. Caustics, you need to take a shower. Because Caustics, I used to be a Caustic main. I farmed 1,000 kills on Caustic. If you combine my old account and this account, I have 1,000 kills on Caustic. If anybody likes my banner frame, put a caustic banner frame setup is awesome in the comments. I love this banner frame setup. This banner frame setup is really cool. At least in my opinion. But caustic, his abilities, his tactical. The reason I hate caustics, even though I used to main him and I think he's still one of my favorite legends, the reason I hate caustic traps is because you could be like 5 meters away. The caustic trap will not activate. You'll move like a singular foot and it'll automatically activate on you, even though it's not going to damage you. It is so weird and I don't get it. You could hit the bottom of the trap to insta-kill it and it'll activate the trap. I don't get it. And then the caustics will place down a trap and somehow use it to PK 1v1 bubble fight. You know how some Newcastle mains use the Newcastle wall as cover to PK you? Caustics throw down the trap, pop up PKU, pop down. Pop up PKU. It's weird and I don't get it. Your ult is disgusting and needs to be nerfed immediately. And your passive is non-existent. Yeah. Caustic mains in a nutshell. All caustic mains are the same. The only difference between a gold caustic main and a predator caustic main is game sense and aim. Ability usage pretty much is the same between all caustics. except for like silver and under, but that's obvious. Like you're never gonna see an insane. I think nobody has a main if you're silver and under. You just have a character that you like. Watson, another character. My like 5 favorite characters is like Lifeline, Conduit, Watson, Caustic, Mad Maggie. Those are my 5 favorite characters. Conduit on top, then Mad Maggie, then Watson, then Lifeline, then Caustic. The only reason I put Lifeline a bit above Caustic is because I like Lifeline for ranked. Anyway, back to Watson. Watson, there's 2 Watson mains. It's the Watson mains that are e-girls and just don't know why they love Watson. They just run around like Watson. Somehow they get 10 kills at the end of the match. Then you have the other Watson mains. The Watsons that don't care about the character being cute. They don't care about how awesome the character is, how good the personality of the character is. Pretty much the opposite of Burno. If you know Burno, you guys are awesome. Burno's awesome. Anyway, these are the complete opposites of Burno. These Watson mains will jump, super glide off a box, and put a ring of death around you in Watson attacks, and then you'll walk into it, and then they'll one-clip you in the face with a Volt, R9, or Alternator, and you'll die and cry yourself to sleep at night. Then you have the E-Girl Watsons, which I already talked about, and then you have the third Watsons. These Watsons are the gold Watsons. The gold Watsons that don't know what they're doing the entire game, walk around, try to tack a building up, and then like miss like half the doors and then just get one clipped. Like I feel like those are the 3 types of Watsons. Sweaty guys that just super glide all over you. Guys that just love the character but are still good at the character, like are insane, like Burno. Then you have the pretty much level 50 Watsons, which we don't talk about because we hate them. But we love the character, obviously. Rampart. Rampart, you're a character. You came from a video game where miniguns, machine guns are the GOAT. You came into Apex thinking, in real life, machine guns are overpowered. I'm gonna play Rampart. No. Sometimes a Volt can out DPS a Sheila really often because if you get first shots on a Rampart that has a Sheila, GG's. I can drop my entire inventory and pick it back up from heals to ammo to attachments in less time than it takes for a Rampart to ramp up their minigun and start shooting. It is weird. And I'll still kill the Rampart. Ramparts, the mains are usually chill. They're fine. They don't really use their mics, but they're fine. Sometimes every like 10 games they get that insane 1v3 with the minigun. But it's so rare you don't really think about it. Because like when you finally get that 1v3 with the minigun, you feel like you're on fire. And then you run into someone, you try to minigun them, and then you get one clipped. And then you're like, why am I playing this character? I could be playing Lifeline or Caustic, or I could be playing maybe like, I don't know, like Ash or Mad Maggie, but no, I'm playing Rampart, and then you die, and then you cry yourself to sleep again after last night when you cried yourself to sleep because you died to a Watson that was super gliding on you. It is disgusting. And then whenever I play Rampart, I'm like, I sit down, I'm gonna play Rampart for 2 matches. I run into every freaking Mad Maggie main on the face of the planet. It is stupid. I don't get it. Why? I don't know how. But like Rampart mains are pretty chill. Yo, Catalyst. Catalyst, the player is weird. Average Catalyst player is so weird. I don't get it. Catalyst players are so weird. But you guys can make some of the craziest plays. The ALGS like a year or 2 ago, they won, not the year that Timmy won, the year before that. They won because of a Catalyst ult. Catalyst is so good, and I feel like they finally bring her back with some of these buffs, and I love it. I'm so glad that Catalyst has been buffed. Uh, Catalyst, such a good legend. I love Catalyst, but like I feel like the main are super weird. Just me though. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, that's everybody. 90% chance I probably mess something up and someone's gonna yell at me in the comments. Fuse is the greatest legend and they've buffed him so good and his ultimate is so good right now. No, his ultimate is trash right now. I don't know why they changed it. Um, tell me what you think in the comments below. If anybody wants to see me, I'm gonna be grinding ranked. I'm hoping to hit masters this season. If someone wants to hop on some of these streams, I'm gonna be playing a lot of ranked. And tell me, I might start streaming a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege. A little bit, not ranked, just normal Siege. Uh, if anybody wants to watch, because I've been really wanting to play Siege because Siege is super fun. I'm a complete bot. I just downloaded it like a week ago. I am super bad. But if anybody just wants to hop on a stream, watch, play, just chill, hang out, I'm gonna be doing that. I'm not really sure. This is just like an update on videos. I'm not sure how things are coming out for the next couple weeks. I think I'm posting a little bit less videos, and if people want to see more videos, uh, then uh, just tell me in the comments below if you want more videos because I've been posting a lot of streams and doing a lot of streams. But if people don't like them, I'll probably start doing a little more videos. Best thing you can do is comment below what your opinions are. Tell me what you think, what I should do, because I read all your comments. But nobody has really been commenting, and that's kind of really hard for me to know what to do when nobody comments. Also comment your favorite, your main, your legend main, and why you think they're the best. Uh, GG's. Comment caustic sucks because then I know you made it to the end of the video. And if you made it to the end of this video, then how much time do you have on your hands? This is like a hour-long video. Holy cow, how much time do you have on your hands? Oh, GG's, guys. It's like, why did I say GG's? I don't know. It's like 12 o'clock right now. My brain's fried. Uh, yeah. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. I've had a lot of good, like, people, a lot of guys on the streams that have been really cool. I posted a God of War stream. If anybody likes God of War, I did that not too long ago. But that's a really good stream. I had a lot of fun making that. I might do a second one if you guys like it. Uh, yeah, just remember, God loves you. Yeah, GG's. Why do I keep saying? Ugh. Ah!